It's Sheffield's first division derby for 23 years. A tumultuous welcome for Dave Bassett's Blades and Trevor Francis's Owls. Bramall Lane packed to the rafters for the day when the city is totally divided. Whether you're red or blue, this is the match of the season for South Yorkshire. And who would have believed when the teams met at Hillsborough in January 1968 that we'd have to wait this long for a first division follow-up? This programme, still in pristine condition, helps us remember it was a 1-1 draw on that occasion and stirs the memory of some famous names. Great players have made their names in the derby.
Colin Addison, Alan Woodward scorching down, and a chance for Woodward to make it 3. It's there! 4. That's a good one. That's a goal! A good header by McCullough.
Woodward with the in-swinger. There's one of them. Addison, the scorer.
Ritchie. A goal! A good goal by Ritchie.
It's a great occasion for the city, and joining me is a man who's had a foot in both camps, Brian Marwood. Brian, just how are the players feeling down there at the moment?
I think very nervous. I think it's really, looking at the atmosphere and the potential of the game, it's very much like a cup final today, and you know, sort of the players, speaking to the players beforehand, they're very nervous of today's game.
How much do you think a match like this one means to the city of Sheffield?
Well, they've waited a long time, and as I said earlier, you know, you saw the scenes when both teams came out. It's a tremendous feeling for everybody in the city to experience a Sheffield derby again.
You played in a London derby. Do you think this is going to be an even more passionate occasion?
I think so, yes. I think it's important for the people in Sheffield, and because they've waited so long, it's even more important for them to go to work on Monday, hoping that their side has won.
Thanks very much, Brian. Well, for years the people of Sheffield have looked forward to this day. They've seen the Liverpool and Manchester derbies. This is their day, though, and it's one that's been missing from the calendar for too long. Dave Bassett names this lineup and spurns the opportunity to introduce on-loan signing from Aston Villa Kevin Gage straight away. Gage is on the bench with John Reid, a youngster who is pitched in at the deep end after a loan spell with Scarborough. That's a surprising choice. The good news is, if it is a gamble, Brian Deane is back after his bout of glandular fever. He's had only a couple of reserve outings, but he's so vital to United's cause that Bassett had no hesitation in naming him. Sheffield Wednesday have had a comparatively smooth build-up to the derby. Trevor Francis took these men away to Portugal for a break last week, would you believe? His main concern was who to play at centre-back, and Viv Anderson, the captain, has got the vote. He is the player who takes over because Nigel Pearson is not considered fit. The referee today is Stephen Lodge from Barnsley. A big day for another South Yorkshire man. And away we go with Sheffield Wednesday in their yellow shirts and light blue shorts, with a big following here. There are about 7,000 fans today at Bramall Lane. They would have liked a lot more than that, and a lot of disappointed people in the city. I hope they're going to enjoy the game with us. Nielsen for Wednesday, one for Williams to chase. He stumbled but regained his feet and can't just keep it in play. There's a long one. Deane just couldn't get there, but good hustling from Hoyland, and a free kick. Phil King on Bradshaw, and Bradshaw then remonstrates with Sheridan. And Carl Bradshaw being gagged for the moment by his own players as much as by the Wednesday ones. Jamie Hoyland is just saying, keep your mouth closed for the moment, Carl. We've got the free kick. That's all we wanted.
I think perhaps Carl might be a little bit more charged up than everybody else, because obviously he's another one who's played for both clubs. But it's all about keeping your concentration and keeping you cool on days like this. And certainly, you know, Carl's got to look to do that.
It's a tough job for Stephen Lodge, the referee. It's nice to see a South Yorkshire official being selected for the match, however.
That's right. I think he'll obviously understand the players and the sort of the understanding of what it means to the players today in today's game.
United's free kick with Gannon and Hoyland there. Bradshaw is there too. And so is Dane Whitehouse. He's number 11. He might try and curl it in. That's exactly what he does do. Got the direction right, but Chris Woods had got his positional play right too.
A good effort. Actually, it was quite a good set play because two players stood over the ball, not allowing Chris Woods to see any of it. And Dane was just a little bit sort of acute with his shot, but it was a good effort. Actually, in the first 10 minutes, John, it's noticeable that a lot of the players are struggling to keep their feet. It seems as if there's quite a greasy surface on top, and a lot of players are slipping and sliding around at the moment.
Again, that sometimes can be down to anxiety, just keenness to do well and probably thinking a bit too quickly almost.
Yes, quite possibly so. You can see with the fans' reaction what a big factor it is for Sheffield United to have Brian Deane back in the side today. He's a very important member of the team, and I think it was a great boost, not only for the fans but for the players to have him back in the team.
This will be a boost for them if they take the lead. It was a poor goal kick from Woods. Fans are chanting United, United. They're right behind their team. Deane's header got inside the Wednesday penalty area. Not yet put out of play. It is now by Worthington. And a United throw in, so they're gaining confidence, United, here. And Worthington to be spoken to and will be the first player cautioned in the game. Again, it was a confrontation involving Carl Bradshaw. And rather stupidly, Worthington has given away a free kick here when he had no need to do, and the ball had already been cleared. So referee Lodge taking stern action with not more than about 8 or 9 minutes gone, the first booking of the game.
Quite surprised actually with Nigel's experience that he looked to give a free kick away in such a dangerous position, and certainly right under the referee's nose.
Gannon to take it. Long, there's the header, and a good save as well. It was on the back post that Brian Gale had stolen into a good position, a clear header, and Chris Woods really earning his corn for Wednesday with the save.
Yeah, the first good effort of the game, a great free kick by John Gannon, and Brian Gale does so well here at the far post and directs a very good header and a good save by Chris Woods.
Chris Woods will be unhappy with his clearance, although Wednesday have picked it up from that. King. Worthington calling for it long, and it's Gale who's gone over to deny him. I think that Gale might be a very inspirational player for this club. He's settled in as captain, scored a couple of goals in the match recently away at Manchester City. Throwing them taken by King. Again, Palmer slipped there. What Brian referred to a moment or two ago, the players slipping quite a lot. Anderson has fed a good ball through, and Palmer goes on. Hurst is with him, and Palmer smacks it against the United crossbar. Worthington has picked it up, and Wednesday keep the pace going with a deep cross, which is flicked on by Cowan, and then put out of play. But the first really exciting moment of the match provided by Carlton Palmer's shot there. Funnily enough, David Hurst was in the middle waiting.
Absolutely superb effort by Coleman. This is what he does best. He's strong running from midfield, an absolutely fantastic shot that obviously hit the crossbar.
Nielsen's throwing. Corner kick. The turn of the Wednesday fans to cheer.
That's something Sheffield United are going to have to watch for, because of his runs from midfield. It can cause all sorts of problems, as it did there, but it has done all season, certainly for opposition side.
Worthington curls them in left-footed, and he curled that one, and it's still in a dangerous position, and it might end up in the United net, but it won't count. Viv Anderson turning it through, but the whistle had already sounded. Referee Lodge in a good position there, so Anderson denied what would have been his third goal of the season. It's a big day too for Trevor Francis, the first time he's managed Sheffield Wednesday in the derby. His first season since taking over from Ron Atkinson, and he's making a good fist of the job. Called him there, did Pembroke, all right. And what's more, he's played a terrific pass out left, which Cowan now sweeps onto. Over half an hour played, the Sheffield derby remains goalless. And a corner for United. They haven't had many, but they've got the chance now, and once more Brian Gale and Paul Beasley will go in to try and hustle the ball into the Wednesday net. United fans won't care how it ends up so long as it gets in there. Woods is being... well, he's on the line, and Bryson's standing up virtually on his toe end, and here's Deane, and did that cross the line? No, it didn't. So close. Chris Woods stays down groggily. United have a corner, and that's the closest that United have come. Palmer struck the crossbar at one end. Deane's towering presence for United here. Woods not getting a clean punch on it. There's Deane's little angled header, and off the line by Phil King.
I think Chris Woods will be relieved to see the ball as far away from his goal as possible at the moment. I'm sure he's feeling a little bit groggy after that bang on the head.
Yes, it'll give him time to regather his senses. Warhurst does beat away Deane's challenge this time. That's an unusual ball. It's found Bradshaw though. And that's a rather unusual cross as well, a big looping effort, and Woods has made the save from Deane.
It's a good time for Sheffield United. You know, sort of last 5 minutes they've created one or two good goal-scoring chances, and they'll be looking to build on this up to half-time now.
Hurst beaten away by Gale. Whitehouse, I should say, has just established himself in the United team here. Did quite well there to keep that ball in play. We had a Whitehurst and a Whitehouse here last year. Probably Whitehurst playing his trade somewhere else nowadays. Bryson couldn't control it, and so Wednesday regained possession. King. Searching ball to find Palmer. Appeals for handball were not agreed with by the referee, so here is Paul Williams now. Will try a shot and slices it wide, and again he slips. I think he ought to examine his footwear at half-time.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he's playing with roller skates on at the moment, John. I think he seems to be sort of on his behind more than he's on his feet at the moment, which is, you know, for him, he'd be disappointed because it was a good opportunity for him to cut inside and have a shot on goal.
Certainly pertinent that although Wednesday have been in fourth spot in the first division for some time, their away form has not really been good this season. It's going to go dead. They've lost matches at Notts County, Norwich and Wimbledon, and yet they've done well on grounds like Leeds, Liverpool and Manchester City.
I think if Trevor will be honest, you know, if they're looking for a sort of a potentially title-winning side, and they know they'll have to go to places like that and get results. At the moment, he's building upon what Ron Atkinson did at the club, and very successfully for a couple of years, and he's not changed a great many things, and you know, they're obviously doing very well this season, but I'm sure that Trevor will be a little bit concerned about perhaps the points that they have dropped.
But it's still all square here. Sheridan to take the free kick. And Wednesday have got a row of 5 players along the edge of the penalty box. Sheridan has found Hurst with a good little flick header. Williams trying to get in there, and it was Jamie Hoyland who steered it back into Simon Tracy's safety. Gannon, Deane's onside, and Bradshaw is wide of him. Well played by Palmer. Wilson sprinting into space, takes it on, gives it wide for Williams. And Whitehouse coming back, does a good job for United. Nonetheless, a Wednesday throw-in.
He's given a free kick, actually, John.
He has given a free kick, yes. I thought he had, and then there didn't seem to be much reaction from anybody. Whitehouse perhaps a little unlucky there. He was challenging from behind.
Did very well to get back and in behind the ball, and he was very, very unfortunate there.
And it can be on incidents like this that matches turn. United will certainly think so if Wednesday score from this. Wilson or Worthington? It's going to be Worthington. And it's not a bad one. First coming at the back post, and Tracy didn't touch it, so it's a goal kick. but a moment of panic in the United defence.
Yes, quite a dangerous moment there. Good free kick by Nigel Worthington. I think Simon Tracy misjudged it slightly, and it was just too long for David Hurst coming in on the far post. A good free kick by Worthington. Tracy's come and then he's missed it, and David Hurst just slightly too long for him.
It's Wednesday ending the half on the attack with another thrower. Got a couple of stoppages, so there was some time to add on. Williams tried to dance his way around Cowan and couldn't do so, but the Scottish fullback now stays down momentarily. The referee should blow his whistle because this would have been unfair to United had play been allowed to continue then.
Yeah, I think that you could obviously see that he was in a lot of trouble there with an injury, and I think that it was right that he should blow the whistle. I just can't understand why he let the throw-in be taken.
I think he might have thought that Cowan was about to get up, but he wasn't, and he was grimacing. So Derek French has been called into action again with his physiotherapy work. Well, it's not long until he can go in the dressing room and receive treatment that he requires. Throw in for Wednesday. Shouts of foul throw against Nielsen, and a corner for Wednesday. The closing seconds of the half, and it would certainly change the entire complexion of the game if they scored. I think at the moment both sides are reasonably happy at 0-0. They might be happy at the end of the day if that's the way it stays, I suppose, but Wednesday have the encouragement of a corner. A set piece, Worthington fails for handball, drifted through, and in fact the free kick is given for the handball.
Anxious moments now for your Sheffield United defence.
Very anxious. King's gone to the back post. And people like Anderson and Palmer in there, and Hurst. There's a lot of hustling again going on. Cowan knocks it out. And Gannon completing the clearance. Oh, and then a total mix-up between Warhurst and Sheridan has got United streaking through. Bryson can give United the lead. Saved by Woods, it's a follow-in for Whitehouse. Sheffield United take the lead. What a memorable moment for the young man Dane Whitehouse. A terrific roar around the ground, and it all came after the Warhurst and Sheridan collision. Bryson was in the free. He had the shot. Woods effected a brilliant stop, but nobody was going to stop Dane Whitehouse. And United lead with a goal from a local player. Born in Sheffield, it means more to him than anyone.
A very, very important time for United to score, and a very disappointing time for Wednesday to concede one.
In a nutshell, Brian, and appeals for handball against Beasley. Interestingly enough, it might have been half-time, but for the injury to Cowan. Who knows? Time had to be added on. And now the referee will blast on the whistle, and a good half then for United. They lead by 1-0. Dane Whitehouse plundered that goal in the last minute of the first half. So half-time here at Bramall Lane is Sheffield United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and we'll be back with the second half after the break. To your match at Bramall Lane, a surprising scoreline to many people perhaps. It's Sheffield United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And that goal by Dane Whitehouse has really set up the second half. And I tell you what, he's also justified the fact he's just signed a new contract till 1994. King again. Hoyland. Oh, it's landed at Deane's foot. It just looped over the top of King. Here is Brian Deane, trying to profit from the ricochet. Throw in.
I think Wednesday will be disappointed today, John, that they've not been able to get their crisp passing together. They haven't really put many sort of movements together at all today.
It's certainly a contrast of styles as Pemberton hurls another throw-in into the Wednesday box. And now he can play a cross in. West Worthington denies him the space. He just put a cross in, and Warhurst nudges it straight to the foot of Hoyland. Here's the ball in for United, cleared by Hurst. And he's found his partner up front, Paul Williams, all on his own. So far as the Wednesday side was concerned, it's Wednesday's throw. imagine some Wednesday fans are rather disappointed their side isn't playing in blue and white stripes. They're the traditional colours. I'm sure in the old days both sides used to play in stripes on Derby Day.
That's right. I'm just wondering how much Trevor Francis might regret not having himself a substitute today.
Huge punt from Woods. Gale under it well. Hurst hasn't had a break as such. Palmer cleverly guiding the ball inside to Danny Wilson. And was Wilson tripped? He was by Beasley as he went on to Hurst's return ball. So Wednesday have a free kick in a good position now.
It's especially dangerous when you've got people of the calibre of Sheridan, Worthington and King around on the ball who can do all sorts of things in this particular position.
Wednesday trail by a goal to nil, so they look for the equaliser from this set piece. Might suit Hurst's left foot. Sheridan might try and curl it over the top, I suppose. Wilson starts it off. Hurst hits it straight into the wall, gets another chance and punts it just over the top for a goal kick. I think Hurst was complaining that the United wall was probably too close, but he got a second dab at it.
I don't know whether he felt that it was actually a deflection for a corner, I'm not sure, but he was remonstrating with the referee about something. A good effort here, but a good block by the Sheffield United wall. They did their job perfectly there. It came back to David Hurst, who had another shot. It just went over.
David Hurst, who is widely tipped as being the natural successor to Gary Lineker, who has intimated, I understand, that he wants to retire from international football after next summer's European Championships. But he's had few opportunities on this day.
Yes, that's right, but it's an important year for David Hurst, as it is for perhaps people like Carlton Palmer as well, because with the European Championships coming up, they could prove quite an important people.
Gale's free kick for United, and Deane is in there with a clear header. He couldn't get any strength on it really, but rather alarming from a Wednesday point of view that Deane was allowed the space.
I think perhaps Johnny didn't realise the amount of time he had there.
Well, it's been one back for Wednesday, and Hurst supplies the ball to Worthington. He's probably going to hold it up first. Now he gives it wide. Palmer's cross in. Hurst is looking for it. It drops for Williams, who's done well. Paul Williams can equalise for Wednesday. Cuts it back, and Wilson's little side foot is nudged aside by Tracy. And that really is the best opportunity that Danny Wilson is probably going to get today.
Fine opportunity there for Sheffield Wednesday. Good play between Worthington and Palmer. He knocked a good ball in, and David Hurst did very well. Dropped to Paul Williams there, and he's very unselfish here. Knocks it right back across the goal, and Danny Wilson misses it. Very disappointing for Wednesday.
Wilson, who's here again in the odd shot, hasn't scored since the third game of the season. He actually got 2 in the first 3 matches and hasn't registered since. He should have done then.
I think in games like this, John, as well, those sort of chances don't really come around that often.
Very true. Danny Wilson disappointed. A different type of corner from Worthington, and a dangerous one, and Tracy didn't get a clean punch on it. And it's Wednesday's turn to sort of try and come to the boil. Worthington's header in. Deane's got back to help out. Worthington another header in. Cleared as far as Warhurst. Tricky moments these for United. Worthington is down in the penalty area, and Tracy sportingly will throw the ball out, and that's good to see, so that treatment can be applied to Nigel Worthington. Doughty competitor though, Nigel Worthington. He's all right, but he's coming off, and that's a sensible move by Trevor Francis. He needs everybody to be 100% on their mettle at the moment, and having got a knock on the head, Worthington gives way for Nigel Jemson. Can he do to this United what he did to Manchester's?
Well, Sheffield Wednesday, we're hoping he can. I think that we were talking earlier about the different attacking options that Trevor Francis has got, and he's certainly played one of those now in Nigel Jemson.
Lovely ball over the top, and Williams takes it on into the United penalty area, cuts it back. Another chance has gone because Jemson can't steer it wide of Tracy. He couldn't get the angle on it. It was a difficult ball in for him to take.
Yes, another good run by Williams. He played a great ball in there, and Jemson just got there first, but good defending by John Pemberton.
There's a nice knock on. And yet again, Bradshaw it is who's stayed down this time, so physio might be required yet again in the match. As the ball is played back, he's actually picked himself up holding his back. Williams has found Hurst. Oh, that was good, and Hurst takes it through Gale's legs, cuts inside, hits the shot right-footed, straight at Tracy. But he's had a shot, and that's the first time in the match.
That's right, he's not had many opportunities to do that this afternoon. David Hurst did very well here, cut inside again, Brian Gale, and finished with a shot, perhaps not as strong as he would like, and not on his favoured left foot. It's interesting to see another option that Sheffield Wednesday are employing now, and looks like John Hawkes is coming on as substitute.
He'll replace Danny Wilson. The number 7 is held aloft, and the American, John Hawkes, who has scored some spectacular goals in his brief career with Sheffield Wednesday, is the man that they look to again now. Here's Hoyland with an important ball into Whitehouse, and flicked over the top by Chris Woods. Otherwise, Whitehouse would have got his second on the day. Good save by Woods, because keepers have to maintain concentration. All right, Whitehouse hasn't got the most powerful header in the game. Here's a chance for Deane. Brian Deane, it's gone through! The gamble has paid off for Dave Bassett, and Brian Deane brings ecstasy to the terraces at Bramall Lane. Ecstasy at one end, desperation at the other. Deane's shot nutmegged Chris Woods on the line.
Yeah, he did ever so well here. He made enough space for himself to get in the shot, but Chris Woods would be disappointed he went through his leg there. And good effort there, straight through Chris's legs. He'd be very disappointed he didn't get hold of that. So pleased for Brian Deane, because he's been off 7 weeks now. It was a bit of a gamble playing him today, but he's come through that and he's done superbly well, even to get this far in the game.
Well, you regard him as a saint here, some of the fans. He's certainly very high in their estimation at the moment, but Wednesday come back. They're 2 goals down. They've got to do something dramatic. Hawkes has come on as substitute. Well, they certainly haven't had a lot to sing about this season. They were singing all right in the second half of last season, but the misery will certainly be relieved here if United win and move off the bottom of the First Division table. Hurst underneath it, Palmer's gone on, chances here, Pemberton, and Tracy was very, very positive in coming from his line in the nick of time. The game has been played in fits and starts, really. I suppose that often happens in derby matches. Tension often rules. Hoyland for United. He's trying to emulate his dad, who was on the winning side twice. Here's his ball in, it's a good one. Deane is climbing for it with Woods, who loses it under pressure, and there was no whistle as well. If Whitehouse had reacted, there might have been something on. Here is Cowan steaming up, and the ball across is put out of play by Warhurst, and Wednesday are in trouble at the moment. They're rocking back there.
And Chris has certainly been in the wars today, as you can see on that cut on his eye.
He would certainly have expected a free kick maybe here.
Yes, it's unusual for referees not to give a free kick. Ian Bryson showed very well from Jamie Hoyland there. He's knocked the ball back. Jamie's played a good ball in there, and Brian Deane's challenged with Chris with his elbow, and he's caught him on the eye.
Well, people talking about referees giving goalkeepers too much protection. Maybe that was one occasion where Woods would have an argument that he didn't get enough.
I think Chris will certainly know he's been in the game today, John. Certainly the knock he took first half from his own player actually on the line, and the goals that he's conceded. So he'll certainly remember this game for a long time.
And denoted a trace of blood on the cheek there of Warhurst too. United's corner, back post. Deane coming for it, headed away, not very far, smacked in. What a good effort from Whitehouse, and that one almost decapitated Phil King on the line.
Well, that is absolutely unbelievable how they cleared that off the line. just a defensive header that's come out and it's fallen, and Dane Whitehouse has struck it superbly well. I think it was Phil King that actually looks as if he's handled the ball on the line there.
Warhurst has been covered in blood. Good flick through, and the pass back by Gale was good too.
Good defending there by the skipper.
Some bruised bodies and faces out there. But most of the scares have come for Wednesday. Oh, what a pass back by Harks. And Bryson played it first time for Deane, and it was King who got back. King's done really well for Wednesday today, but that was uncharacteristic of John Harks.
I think Phil King's perhaps been Sheffield Wednesday's best player today. He's defended very well, joined the attack when he can, but they'll be disappointed with John Harks' back pass there.
I'd go along with that, and that was rather silly down on the touchline. The substitute John Reid kicked the ball away from David Hurst. He could actually have been booked for that, even though he's not on the field. Here's Hurst inside the area, just the first touch took it away from him. He's followed through on Tracy. Certainly a whistle will go against Hurst, and it's now boiling over rather unnecessarily. The referee Lodge has got to get in the midst of that little lot and sort it out.
This is a side of football that we don't like seeing, John, isn't it, really? David is perhaps, in the frustration, has followed through there into the goalkeeper, and it's going to be anxious moments for David Hurst. Yes, he's lost the ball really, and Simon Tracy's got the ball and he's just followed through there with his foot.
Don't really think he's made a very bad connection with Tracy on this occasion, and it is, as you say, Brian, a question of frustration, and David Hurst has to be careful. Don't forget he was booked in the first half, and that would be a rather ignominious way to end a derby match for him.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you know, the frustration of David there. He hasn't had many opportunities today, and one came his way there, but he just overrun it, and I think he was just out of frustration that he's gone in as hard as he did.
Time certainly running out for Wednesday. Less than 5 minutes on the watch as Jemson tries to twist inside a challenge and finds Sheridan. He does that well, and that's a good ball through. Paul Williams can score here. Great save from Tracy when it mattered most. Paul Williams has been as sharp as anybody for Wednesday today, and that was a good strike on goal. Now here's Hurst. The ball in is deep, but it went out of play. But Simon Tracy really has made me feel that this is going to be United's day with that crucial stop.
That's right, one of the few times that John Sheridan's had the opportunity to thread and to weave his way through. There's a great ball here by John Sheridan, one of the few times he's been able to do it today. A good run by Paul Williams, a good strike, and equally a good save by Simon Tracy.
He was just checking that his watch was still ticking. Wasn't the best clearance by Warhurst. Deane dances among the balloons, and he'll be dancing in ecstasy in a moment or two if they win it. Here's Bryson, could have made it 3.
Good opportunity there. Brian did superbly well there and hit a great left foot cross. And Ian Bryson found himself on the far post and just a little bit put off, I think, by Roland Nielsen's challenge.
Deane taking it on the chest. Bryson's going up the left side. Deane goes on. Can he round it off memorably here? Bryson, the ball in. Oh, it was going towards Hoyland until Warhurst cleared. It's Sheffield United's derby day. The city belongs to the red and whites, and it means so much to them. Wednesday deflated, Dane Whitehouse with the first goal, a Sheffield boy, in the last minute of the first half. And then Brian Deane, the gamble paid off. He's played his first game for 6 weeks and made the final score here a memorable one. If you're a Blades fan, it's Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Dave, congratulations. A very emotional day for you and the supporters.
Well, I think the fact that it's been a local derby for the first time for a long time, everybody built it up, and obviously if there was going to be a win, some set of supporters were going to be disappointed. Obviously I'm delighted to have got the 3 points and won on today. I mean, it was important for us to get a win because we need points infinitely more than Sheffield Wednesday from relegation point of view. Obviously they need them for challenging for the championship.
Trevor, is it difficult to lift the players up after that now?
Well, at the moment it's a little bit difficult, but they have to be lifted because we've got another big game on Wednesday against Southampton, and then we're at home on Saturday against Arsenal.
The first goal came at a critical time, didn't it? Just before the interval.
That's right, it was a bad mistake. Well, I'm not sure exactly who was to blame, whether it was John Sheridan or Paul Warrest, but you know, just coming on half-time, it's not what we needed.
And the second one too, because you just had a good spell of pressure when up popped Brian Deane with the second one, and Chris Wood's disappointed, I'm sure.
I think it went through his legs, didn't it? I've not seen it on the replay, but yeah, there are a couple of mistakes, and but we're making too many mistakes this season. They've cost us. But I think that, excuse me, overall, we've got no complaints. I think that Sheffield United deserve to win.
Dave, could this be a turning point in your season?
Well, I'd hope so. I mean, we thought beating Nottingham Forest 2 weeks ago would be a turning point. We went to the two Manchester clubs, should have got something out of both those games and didn't. It's another 3 points, but obviously we've got to go to Tottenham next week, and then we've got Luton at home, and we've got to be looking to pick up as many points as possible. We don't want to fall adrift of the teams down the bottom.
Dave, Trevor, thanks very much indeed. A thrilling derby match here then at Bramall Lane. And there's more big football coming your way on YTV next Saturday night. But let's just have a look now at what's happened to the Division 1 table as a result of this result. Sheffield Wednesday still in 7th position. Leeds United top, of course, a point clear of Manchester United, 4 clear of Manchester City. And down at the bottom, well, Sheffield United are off the bottom. That's cheerful news for them. They're now 2 points clear of Luton Town for Sheffield United here at Bramall Lane, as you can see from the